Hi guys, today I want to talk about a misconception with the law of attraction and something that a lot of people who even teach the law of attraction on YouTube and in different places are often mistaken, and it's detrimental enough that it can actually lead to physical ailments. And this misconception is that in order for the law of attraction to work, we always have to be in a high vibrational place, really emanating positive energy to attract other things with that same energy. And this is correct up until a certain point. And the issue where it often gets taken too far is that there are certain people who will do this to the point where they're actually suppressing and repressing their negative emotions. And this, when done consistently, you're consistently suppressing and repressing stuff down, it's getting bottled up inside. And that's where, if not addressed properly, it can cause physical issues and ailments. And I've been seeing this and observing this a lot over the years. So I first learned of the law of attraction in 2011 and have been practicing it since then, reading specifically the books by Esther and Jerry Hicks. So I'll link my favorite ones in this video description for you guys. And then over the course of the last maybe 5-7 years, there's been a lot of people on YouTube who've come up and really started speaking about the law of attraction. And a lot of them are learning from similar sources, but they might be misinterpreting the information and also practicing in a way that's actually hurting them in certain ways. So in the book Ask and It Is Given, which was written by Esther and Jerry Hicks a long time ago, it talks about the emotional guidance scale. And in the emotional guidance scale, it allows all feelings and emotions to be valid, and every feeling and emotion also needs to be felt and worked through in order to get to the more positive emotions or the more desirable emotions. And so if you're feeling something like anger, grief, or sorrow, you need to be able to feel those emotions in order to move up to something like maybe hope and eventually get to a space of relief or joy. And in that book, they really talk about how important it is to accept all emotions as they move through us, because when we aren't accepting these emotions, we're controlling them, suppressing them. And there's actually a pretty big YouTuber that she focuses on the law of attraction who got Bell's palsy. And one of the things, so I work with energy healing, emotions. I have a really clear sense of understanding of how all physical ailments and issues stem from suppressed or repressed emotions. And Louise Hay has a really great book about this called Heal Your Body. And in it, she has, which I'll also link in the description for you guys. I'll give you guys all these tools and resources. And so in that book, it describes different physical ailments, and it'll give a reason for it. And then it'll also give positive affirmations to help to heal whatever the mental and emotional blockage is. And for Bell's palsy, the reason behind it that's emotional and mental is extreme control over anger, unwillingness to express feelings. And so this, of course, is coming up in someone who is really preaching high vibe, positive energy all the time, because that's completely unrealistic. If you look at all the teachings from the East that describe things, like even look at a yin yang that has the negative and the positive, the black, the white, even just understanding art and understanding life. I mean, if you look at my face, even we've got a shadow here, we've got light coming in, and like if you look at the seasons or even the day, we've got the day and the night. And so there's always this duality. And if we're only focusing on the light and the positive, then this is what happens. Something like Bell's palsy, where it's an extreme control over anger. So if ever the emotion anger is coming up, of course you don't want to feel that if you're stuck in only wanting the positive and only wanting the light. So the anger gets suppressed. I was going to say compressed, but it really does get compressed, suppressed, repressed. It gets pushed down and controlled, and then unwillingness to express those feelings. And so there are healthy ways for us to express feelings like anger, even something like playing the drums, and that's something that's really inherent to us as humans. We were tribal beings for thousands of years, and so playing the drums and letting that out in that way, even like screaming if you can, if you're able to be alone in a car or somewhere. There's tons of different ways, like even throwing in an adult temper tantrum. is something that I want to talk a bit more about too, and how just letting ourselves really move through this energy can then move towards something like even dancing. Dancing is so helpful and so powerful, and that's one tool that I've been using for a very long time. Whenever I'm feeling all these feelings, I might start dancing and moving through it, and then you can easily get from anger to any of the other emotions on the emotional guidance scale just by moving through the anger and letting it live. And so an affirmation that Louise Hay gives for that is, "It is safe for me to express my feelings. I forgive myself." And so if you've been kind of caught in this trap of the law of attraction, I almost want to say like a spiritual bypass, because that's really what it is whenever we're trying to force ourselves to always be positive. And especially for someone who is working and making her living off teaching about the law of attraction, she might feel shame for having negative emotions. And that's something that we absolutely have to let go of. We all have positive and negative emotions. We all have shadow and light. We all have both. And so it's really important for us to acknowledge and accept and honor all feelings, and not to judge them as being negative, so we have to ignore this and suppress it and repress it, and instead just focus on the lollipops and rainbows, because that's just not what life is. And life would also be very boring if it was just lollipops and rainbows. Sometimes we want like a Sour Patch or something spicy, or spice that shit up. So yeah, I hope this helps you guys and also gives you the confidence and courage to allow yourselves to feel all the feelings that come up. That's why we're human, is to be able to experience life as a fluid being and to have all these different types of experiences. And there's pain and there's joy, there's trauma, there's sorrow, but there's also beauty and exhilaration. And I'm seeing like childbirth right now as the most beautiful thing that many people experience in life, is the creation of new life and seeing this new life coming out of the body and just having this immense love. But it's also the most painful thing that a lot of women will ever experience too. And so it's just there has to be both in different ways, and it's unfortunate because a lot of times we don't really want there to be both. We don't want to experience that pain, and that's something that's normal too. It's a very human thing to try to avoid pain. But it takes a lot of courage and strength to be willing to go into that pain and to allow it to exist and to move through it in order to alchemize and transmute it. And that's what I really feel is part of my life's purpose, is helping people just get real with themselves and to move through all those different energies and come to a space of healing and acceptance and health, well-being, all that jazz. And all that jazz. I don't know if I've ever said all that jazz before, but anyways, jazz it up. So I think we're done here, and with that being said, lots of love and light to everyone, and lots of darkness and sorrow. No, just kidding. But really, like, let the realness live within you, like you're here and you're special just for being a human. And a lot of times when we try to ignore or repress the bad, it also doesn't allow for us, like it blocks us from having fulfilling human connections with people, because we all have different things that have happened in our lives that have been painful, and the more we're able to allow those to live, shine light on them, allow them to exist and be true, it also helps us to heal too, just by seeing that we're not alone. That's where a lot of depression and really like hopelessness and just giving up on life comes from, is thinking that you're so alone in how you're feeling. But if more of us talked more about these things that might be painful or uncomfortable, then we would see that that's a completely normal part of life. So I hope you guys enjoy the ups and the downs, the dark, the light, the good, the bad, and that you find those rainbows that come from both the rain and the sun. So we need both. And I think we'll end it there. And all that jazz. Anyways, so yeah, check out the links in the description. I have lots of tools and resources for you. So May you be happy, healthy, and free. And I know I have to ask you to give it a thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe for more, and click the bell, you know, all that jazz. Okay, bye. I'm done.